If you guys spend enough time in the Monster Hunter community, eventually you start to hear things like more damage, go for more damage, drop your comfort skills, forget Divine Blessing. You don't need stun resistance. That's a DPS loss. Oh, use this speedrunner's build. And somewhere along the way, I think a lot of us forgot why we're even using those builds. Because here's the uncomfortable truth. Most players aren't losing hunts because they don't do enough damage. They're losing hunts because they cart. What's up, guys? My name is SnyperSama, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are going over why you are obsessed with damage. Now, whether you want to admit it or not, we've all been there. There are very, very few hunters that I personally know of that do not care about how much damage they are doing in a hunt, and they are there for the joy of the hunt. So today, we're talking about it. It's not necessarily a bad thing, but it does bode the question, how did we get here? How did us as hunters get so obsessed with the damage that we're doing that we started talking about damage? I mean, damage became king because speedruns were fun to watch. Tier lists were created. Meta guides and YouTube thumbnails, DPS calcs, all of it. And truth be told, I'm guilty of it too. I've created so many videos just like this. This entire channel, I've got nearly 400 videos, and 150 of them are about builds maxing out damage. So if you can squeeze out 5% more damage, your problem will disappear, right? You'll finally be able to beat Arkfeld, Gogmazios. Maybe you'll beat it in under 10 minutes. Is that really the issue, though? Is it? I think we started optimizing before we started mastering. Let's get into it. I mean, this is literally one of my videos. I think I was recording at night here is what it looks like. It's kind of crazy. I'm wearing the exact same thing. My hair could use a little work, but this is my whole point. I have comments on this build. I'm not going to show them because I don't want anybody sitting there getting called out. In fact, I might actually hide those comments because I'm making this video. There's a wonderful spot for me to pause, by the way. Love that. Great job, B. Great job. This build literally uses heroics and fortify, meaning you are playing at 35% life after carding intentionally twice. And there are comments on this build going, dude, why are you using this? I'm not getting any damage. You must be cheating. Bruh. No, no one's cheating. It's you learned about the build. You learned what gear to put on. You learned what stats you needed, what decorations, what talismans, and you were like, cool, that's it. What do you expect to happen? This is how the build was made, and I see it so often. People copy their heroics builds, just like that one. The peak performance builds where you need full HP, the max affinity setups. But how to get there, nobody knows. The reason they want to use all of those, because that's what speedrunners do. Speedrunners, though, know every opening. They rarely get hit. And they have the scripts down to such a science that it's borderline criminal and it's bullying the monster. This is what I'm going to tell you you guys have. Not that. You copy the speedrunner build, but you don't have the skill that the speedrunners do. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. So with that being said, what loses more damage? A 5% damage reduction that has, or with the build that has Divine Blessing, or carding? What has a bigger DPS loss? Healing constantly, or running away? Or maybe even missing an attack. The whole idea stems from everybody being so obsessed with damage that they don't even realize that the biggest DPS loss in Monster Hunter isn't the comfort skills that you use. It's downtime. Skills like Divine Blessing, Evade Window, Guard, Constitution, and all of the recovery skills. They increase your confidence. They increase your uptime. They reduce panic. And it's because those comfort builds that use these aren't actually weak. For example, player A uses a 100% meta build, all offensive skills, agitator, weakness exploit, burst, so on and so forth. They cart twice, okay? Let's say player B uses a comfort build, and they have things like Divine Blessing, Zoshia's Pulse, Recovery Up, and maybe only Agitator. But they don't cart at all. They're always able to get in the fight and stay there because their comfort skills allow them to stay engaged, to stay aggressive. And that because of that, they never stop attacking. So the question is, who actually dealt more damage? Player A that carted, or player B that was able to keep going? Truth be told, Dead Hunters don't top damage charts. The biggest misunderstanding that everybody has with speedrunners, like these guys right here, Team Darkside fighting Elatrion, is that they're recommendations. They're not. These speedrunner builds, the things that these guys do are demonstrations of mastery. They are flexing. They are showing off. They are showing what they are capable of doing. Speedrunners optimize in this way because they can sacrifice everything else, because they've mastered everything else. They've mastered all positioning, all monster knowledge, all combo strings. They have every form of consistency on their side. They have removed all variability in their game. And that is why these builds works. That is why these guys can focus and obsess over damage, where 2% does matter. A speedrun build is a reward for mastery, not a shortcut to it. And I will stand by that no matter what. And that is as someone that is good at the game. I have good clears. I am still top 5,000 with the arena quests right now with someone from my Discord. Damage isn't the enemy, though. Comfort isn't the enemy. Damage doesn't not matter, but it doesn't matter at the same. It does matter. If you are trying to use low rank gear, you're not going to be able to beat some of the higher ranked monsters. But progression should be for you guys to survive long enough to learn, and to learn long enough to develop some consistency like these guys have. Shout out TDS for this, because I've been watching a lot of Monster Hunter World speedruns, and these guys are crazy. Okay? But shout out. Consistency builds to efficiency. Once you start to have that efficiency, then you lean into optimization. We started chasing all of these numbers before we started earning them. And that's why these guys are the best. And we are the average Joe. To be fair, though, this is why the meta exists. This is why people see what is coming and they create it. They move forward so that you can kind of streamline that a little bit. Because the more damage you do now, the more damage you'll do later once you have mastered those things. The important thing is to actually master them. The meta isn't the problem. Blindly following it is. So the question I have for you is, are you so obsessed with damage that you're not willing to dial it back so you can learn to be better? Or are you willing to learn to be better? This is definitely a little bit one of those more interactive videos where I wanted to kind of talk about what was going on, what I thought, what I want you guys to think, and hopefully it is a good mentality shift for some of you that may be coming back to play more Wilds now that we know about the DLC. That being said, ladies and gentlemen, that is going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for coming and watching. Thank you all for hanging out. Don't forget to like, don't forget to comment, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next one. Farewell.
I don't ever slow up, no I don't take shit. I got no love for the fakeness. If you wanna play tough and wanna hate this, I'll always show up and make a statement.